In the headlines, House of Representatives tell federal government to suspend Samoa Agreement implementation. SANU NASU members stake nationwide protests over withheld salaries. KANU orders crackdown on same-sex marriage promoters. And on the foreign scene, death toll from India landslide rises to 23. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television at this hour. I'm Aisha Sali. And now the news in detail. Following a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by 88 members, the House of Representatives has asked the federal government to suspend the implementation of the Samoa Agreement until all controversial clauses are addressed and spelled out. In moving the motion on Tuesday, a member of the House, Aliyu Madaki, drew attention to the clause which highlights gender equality and describes it as a Trojan horse which could violate the morals of the country. The House also mandated its relevant committees to investigate the controversial provisions of the agreement. Controversy has enveloped the Samoa Agreement signed by the federal government with the European Union, with many frowning upon what they thought was the recognition of lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights by the Nigerian government. The Samoa deal sparked a barrage of reactions online, with many opposing LGBT rights, which is contrary to the anti-same-sex marriages and gay relationships law enacted in 2014 by then-President Goodluck Jonathan. Also, the House of Representatives, following an urgent motion by Honorable Billy Osawuru, has passed a resolution to carry out a forensic investigation into the resurgence of fuel queues in parts of the country. The House is also to investigate the alleged indiscriminate issuance of licenses for the importation of premium motor spirit, importation of substandard petroleum products, as well as a failure of regulators. The House, in passing the motion, questions why the issue of fuel scarcity continues to resurface, despite repeated assurances by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and petroleum marketers. The resolution comes following a resurgence of petrol scarcity in some states of the Federation on Monday. NNPCL had blamed the resurfacing of fuel queues on the disruption of ship-to-ship transfer of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, between mother vessels and daughter vessels, resulting from recent thunderstorm. Meanwhile, fuel queues has spread to Lagos, Nigeria's commercial center. According to report, queues were noticed at fueling stations operated by Total Energies and Techno Oil in Festac Town. NNPC Limited's petrol station on Ago Palace Way had long lines of motorists waiting to buy the product. On the other hand, black market operators sold the product for as much as 1,100 naira to 1,300 naira per litre. But as motorists and commuters groaned, the NNPC Limited warned against hoarding of petrol, as it assured of improvement in supplies soon. In a statement by its Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Olufemi Shoneye, the NNPC Limited blamed the scarcity on a number of factors, including thunderstorms and floods. Also, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced that its retail stations will now operate for longer hours to alleviate the fuel queues experienced in Lagos, Abuja, and other major cities across the country. This was revealed by NNPCL's Executive Vice President of Downstream, Dakpo Shegun, during a joint inspection of fuel stations with the Executive Director of Distribution Systems, Storage and Retailing Infrastructure at Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Ogbugbo Ukoha, and its officials in Abuja on Monday. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Lokbobiri Heniken, on the sideline of the fuel scarcity and queues and fueling stations across the country, expressed understanding of the public's frustration. The minister assured that a dedicated team is working round the clock to resolve these issues, restating the government's commitment to restoring normal fuel supply as quickly as possible. Away from fuel scarcity, the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities on Tuesday staged a one-day protest today over their withheld 4-month salaries. The committee has also vowed to shut down public universities later this month if their withheld salaries and other issues are not addressed. Habiba Tajai has more.
We're currently at the main campus, University of Abuja. The NASU and SANU are actually staging a protest at the front of the entrance.
Follows several attempts to draw government's attention to unresolved issues. The two unions, under the aegis of the Joint Action Committee, JAC, embark on the strike due to the government's alleged repeated failure to implement many agreements.
Under the aegis of JAC, in March 2022, embark on a strike as a result of government's repeated failure to abide and implement the many agreements in which it freely entered with the unions. As of the last count, we've had 7 different agreements with government, and repeatedly government have failed to implement their part of the agreements. This repeated reneging on agreement is eroding the trust of our members in government and its officials. And one wonders if they are truly committed to a qualitative education for the children of the masses.
The JAC national president explained that several meetings with government officials to address their needs have so far yielded no results.
You remember very well that the House Committee on Education equally invited us on this matter, and they passed a resolution. They told us the matter had been transmitted to the presidency. The Minister of Labour invited us about 2 months ago. We went there, but we were told that she has gone to the presidency for another meeting. Last week, Thursday, she invited us. We went there. We were told she has gone to the presidency for another meeting. And this is a minister that's supposed to take absolute charge and control of this matter. So I wonder what she's going to presidency to report when there is problem in her own house.
Academic activities have been partially affected as the protest continues.
I'm here now and my office is empty, so it's disrupting the activities partially. But when these grievances are not curtailed with emergency, as we call on the necessary government organs to do, then we cannot guarantee full activities in the few days to come in our campuses, across the campuses.
The unions insisted that unless their demands are met, a total shutdown of university activities may be imminent. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Kano State government has ordered a clamped down on any organization promoting LGBTQ rights as they violate the provisions of Sharia as well as the culture and tradition of the people of Kano State. The Commander General of the State Hizbah Board, Aminu Daurawa, who addressed the press conference in Kano, said one of the Hizbah Board staff members seen in the viral video making comments about LGBTQ was not representing the board and as such will be made to face disciplinary action. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
According to Sheikh Daurawa, Kano State government will not be part of any agreement recognizing same-sex marriage or relationship of whatever kind that seems to violate the religion of Islam. He said the state government and by extension the people of Kano State will continue to respect the same-sex marriage prohibition law passed in 2014 during former President Goodluck Jonathan administration, which banned same-sex marriage in Nigeria.
Gwamnatin jihar Kano bata gamsu ba ko bata amince ko bata yadda ba da duk wani
Kano State government is not satisfied and will never be satisfied and will never agree with any agreement violating the religion of Islam or the Islamic Sharia that was launched by the state government. And Kano state government will not respect any law contrary to the law signed during the administration of Goodluck Jonathan in 2013. We will not recognize that, and we will continue to respect the laws of the land that does not contradict the religion of Islam or Islamic Sharia.
2013 wacce Jonathan ya sa mata hannu.
Confirming the commitment of Hizbah in fighting LGBTQ community across the state, Daurawa says they have already identified some non-governmental organizations working to promote LGBTQ in Kano, many of whom have since been shut down.
Shekara da shekaru ana ta yaki da wannan abu a jihar Kano, hukumar Hizbah tana.
For many years, Kano State Government through the Hizbah Commission has been fighting the LGBTQ community. We have been entering all nooks and crannies of Kano State to identify those non-governmental organizations that are working in Kano to promote same-sex marriage. And we will never stop. We will continue to do this because it is what Allah says we should do. Idris Gama is the Hizbah officer who was recently seen in a viral video commenting on the activities of the LGBTQ. He says he has never been part of their activities, and in fact, he acted out of ignorance of the real meaning of LGBTQ, and that he is apologizing to the Hizbah and the entire people of Kano State for any inconveniences his action might have caused them. In the first place, I am not among them. I am not a part of them, and I will never be part of them. As I told you, I was invited as Idris Gama, not as Hizbah officer, and I have nothing to do with LGBTQ. And at the time I was asked that question, honestly, to be sincere to you and to be sincere to the people of Kano State, I don't know the meaning of LGBTQ. Meanwhile, Sheikh Daurawa is calling on all people in the state to continue to remain vigilant and report any suspicious group working to promote same-sex marriage to the board for appropriate action. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
And now to the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT Police Command has sent Shoaibu Alhaji Yushau to the Social Development Secretariat for mental assessment and evaluation following his rather troubling action, which caused apprehension in the nation's capital on Monday when he climbed a high broadband mast at Aso Radio in Katampe, Abuja, and attempting to take his own life. Police said the suspect, if found to be mentally stable after the test, will be charged in court for attempted suicide, disturbance of public peace, and incitement contrary to sections 231, 111, and 114 of the Penal Code Act. The Commissioner of Police, FCT, Benneth Igwe, urges residents to be law-abiding while pushing for their voices to be heard, as the police will not be stampeded into allowing the breakdown of law and order. A major drug cartel behind the production and distribution of deadly psychoactive substance, methamphetamine, popularly called Nkuru Miri, has been taken down by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency following the arrest of the leader of the syndicate, 42-year-old Joachim Chikodi Mbonu, and his associate in his mansion tucked in his Umomi village in Uzogba Ezenomi Autonomous Community, Ikeduru local government area of Imo State. The cartel, with operational bases in Imo and Rivers states, became a target of the agency following intelligence indicating it is responsible for the distribution of substantial quantity of methamphetamine in southeast, south-south, and other parts of the country. After weeks of surveillance, officers of a Special Operations Unit of the agency on Friday, 5th July 2024, tracked and traced the drug lord to his village mansion in Imo State, where he was caught with a member of his cartel, Kenneth Chibuike Ofegbu, 34, with different quantities of methamphetamine, its precursor chemicals, a pump-action gun, and cartridges recovered. Exhibits recovered from the house include 419.99 grams of methamphetamine, 750 grams of iodine, a precursor chemical for meth, 500 grams of sodium bicarbonate, a precursor chemical for meth, 2 electronic weighing scales, and a pump-action gun with 4 cartridges. A Lagos State Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court on Monday sentenced a septuagenarian, a 72-year-old security guard, David Jackson, to life imprisonment for defiling a 7-year-old neighbor's daughter. Justice Abiola Sholadoye passed the ruling after she held that the prosecution had proved the 3 ingredients of defilement against the convict. Justice Sholadoye, in her judgment, held that the survivor was 7-year-old at the time of the incident, but she was 8 years old when she testified before the court and identified Jackson as a gateman in one of the houses on her street. The prosecutor submitted that the accused committed the offense on May 16, 2022 at Oyodele Close, Ojodu Berger in Lagos. And to more stories. A woman in Bayelsa State capital, Yenagoa, has given birth to quadruplets through cesarean section after 14 years childlessness. According to the mother of 4, the journey wasn't an easy one from the first scan to the last, showing 4 children in the womb considering the present hunger in the country. Trustee Vs Friday Bimobowe Peter completes the report.
The mother of the quadruplets, Mercy Silva, thanked God for the successful journey while calling on the state government and well-meaning individuals to come to their aid.
When I went for this first scan, they saw I was pregnant with 3 babies. So the doctor was shocked. He now said I should go to somewhere else to repeat the scan. When I went there, it was 4 they saw. I came back and I told him, he said it's a lie, it's not possible, something that he just did some days ago. Now I'm telling him it's 4, that he did not believe the scan result. He said I should go to other place for the scan. I went there too, it showed 4. So it was not easy seeing that you are carrying 4 babies at once. The fear and everything, even we were thinking of the financial implication. How are we going to survive when we give birth to them? But we just said it's God that did it, so there is nothing we can do. My mom, she's a twin. Okay. The one that followed her, 2 girls, twins. She was a boy and a girl. Then my husband family too. His mother had twins. Then his younger brother has twins 2 times, 2 girls, 2 girls. 1, 3. Then the one that followed the 3 twins, the other one twins, 2 girls, 1 boy and 1 girl.
Also speaking, the father of the quadruplets, Silva Goswill, a secondary school teacher, said he has spent all his little incomes as he wasn't expecting 4 children at the same time.
The excitement, it also follows with fear because we are not really expecting something like that. We are praying for one. But when the result came, he says 4. So at that moment, we are all confused. I couldn't even sleep because I know the implications. You know, this present situation now in the country. You know, if you are not maybe big-time business person or big-time politician, it's not really easy for people. Maybe financial and the material things, like my wife said. Maybe if materially assistance can come from government or any other well-wisher, we will really appreciate.
The quadruplets comprises of 1 male and 3 females. From Yenagoa, Friday Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News.
Leisure places in Nigeria, such as restaurants, hotels, sports event centers, and cinemas, are facing difficulties in attracting customers as soaring food prices continue to drain consumers' pockets, leaving little room for discretionary spending on entertainment and recreation. Trust TV spoke with sports coaches and restaurant owners in the Agege area of Lagos State. The report is presented from our studio.
Leisure places such as restaurants, hotels, sports event centers, and cinemas in Agege area of Lagos State are experiencing low patronage. The economic hardship has caused many Nigerians to patronize food items over leisure activities. Restaurant owners lament the low patronage of customers as the continuous rise in food prices affects their business operations.
Everything now is so much cost because some people now they don't fit to come and eat in my restaurants now because I went to the market now to go and buy some things now. I didn't make it. Now since morning I've just cooked the food. I didn't sell like before.
The effect of the economic hardship is really affecting every aspect of life, both food stuff, even in the realization central. Maybe if you are somebody that take maybe 2 bottles before, you reduce it to maybe 1 bottle. And with that 1 bottle, you can spend 3 hours because you don't have any other means.
My customers are not more common because the food, even the food we cook, we go to markets, we buy things to cook. Everything has increased. They cannot be able to be eating as before. You only see people coming to eat.
I don't know what to say. The people are not patronizing me as before again, and not only here because the price of food is too expensive. People now come, people that used to eat 3 times a day, they manage to come once. If you can see inside my shop, no customer. We have been here since morning. I didn't mean it before. By now, the first set of foods that are finished, we put the second one, we keep on cooking. But now it's not like that.
Other leisure places such as Agege Stadium were deserted with very few persons engaged in playing table tennis and basketball.
If you are not well feeded, you can't play table tennis. That's number one. I know that a lot of people are running away. This little racket I'm rolling and you are seeing with me now costs a lot. A few people can afford it.
The effect make the hunger make them like, oh, these things are very expensive. I can only have this for now. Let me push more. The bad effect of it is that after the trade mode we do it, they will only take small portion of food with their big money and they'll get at the end of the day.
So a lot of kids are really complaining that they are not really feeding well, you know. So we are begging government to look after the food and see how they can reduce both transportation and food in the country, so we can have more kids that comes out for doing sports in this area.
The daily increase in food prices is a significant concern as Nigerians struggle to make ends meet, leaving little disposable income for non-essential items such as entertainment.
And to developments away from Nigeria now, the death toll from a landslide near an illegal gold mine on Indonesia's central island of Sulawesi has risen to 23 people, while 35 others are still missing. Officials said unlicensed mines are common across the mineral-rich Southeast Asian archipelago, where abandoned sites attract locals who hunt for leftover gold or without proper safety equipment. The landslide hit a remote village in the Bolango district of Gorontalo province late Saturday following intense rains. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.